What's up, guys? Coming back at you with another installment here. Today, the goal is to take a look at Texas, primarily near the Big Thicket, and how they can move around. And there's a lot going on down there, so I can easily see why there's a lot of sightings, movement, etc. I've kind of got some of it mapped out, but you can see over here on the GIS. This is Texas. That's the border coming straight down like that, and down in this southeast region, you're getting a lot of sightings. Um, I'll just show you that right here. See, so I'm going to take a look at why and give you some spots that you can go search. So let's go ahead and close that out, and let's just zoom in here down to Texas and see what's going on. So we've got a lot of place marks here. So what I like to do is these white areas are kind of like their hubs. To me, that's the regions where they're going to hang out, spend more time, live, thicker, denser, larger tracts of land. And it's unique in Texas because there's a lot of small areas, not small, but I mean, compared to some other state forests and stuff like that, there's a lot larger tracts to the east, in another state, Louisiana, but I'm really focusing on Texas and how they can move from these little regions to other regions or even off toward Louisiana. But the major goal is to find the certain pinch point areas where, hey, you can get in there, you can do some research, and I'm almost going to guarantee you're going to have something happen because using my due diligence and what we've learned over so long, it tends to pan out. Although I was defeated in Georgia, I can say that because that state is very hard to map and come up with locations because the areas are so vast. I don't have enough breaks in terrain and certain features. But let's go ahead and get into this. So as we come down near the Big Thicket, basically what I'm going to do, there's hubs, there's other types of hubs, there's major hubs, minor hubs, movement hubs, but we're near the Big Thicket, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over all the place marks that I've put and why I put these locations here. So these 3 or 4 locations off the 770, if they come out of the Big Thicket Preserve where, they can hold up in this tract of land pretty good. It's a larger tract, they have free reign, sort of, you know what I'm saying? And as they come out of the Big Thicket and cross the 770 there, I have the turquoise line to the left because that's a city hub, and I think they kind of shy away from that. Plus down here near the it says Plumley Johnny R. You've got some people living down here or a park or something, but this area here on the 770 has some free reign on it because also to the northeast you've got some cities, but right through here along the 770 there's like 3 regions that I really say, hey, I would get in there, focus, get it not even a quarter mile, lay out a track of cameras and let them run for like a year because something's going to happen in this region. It's right off of Brown Road off the 770. It would be just north of that. I would say set up maybe 5, 6, 7 cameras along this stretch of the 770. And the road to the north would be, if they're labeled, and they are not. They're just dirt highways. So the next road north would be the 1003. So between that and Brown's Road down there, it's probably like a mile, 2 at the most. But that section of land along that highway, I would estimate they would come through here quite a bit. It seems like it's a major hub where they can move into other regions. Whoever owns this land, I would definitely be in this region, northeast or northwest of that. There really isn't any highways that I can see. A lot of it looks like farmland. So to actually, say, hey, go to this region, I don't have any specific roadways, but you can see how this pinches down. The terrain features do in between this timber here, back and forth there. Those are good regions. up here. The red lines I kind of used as, hey, this is how they can move through the areas. We've got some more areas here. Let me see, is this a road or just kind of farm road, it looks like? Yeah, just some farm roads. Hugh Means Road. I would follow that right to the end. Walk in the woods there by Black Creek, and I would put some cameras right in that region here. Right where I've got those 2 pins. Because to me that area makes a lot of sense. And you've got a couple other roads that come together here. I know they're only truck trail roads, but essentially what you have to do is you've got a field here and a road here. You've got, I don't know, just over a quarter mile there. You can get in that region, do some research, put up some cameras, you know, like I said, put up your cameras in a horseshoe, kind of like this. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of can't get past them. And you're going to end up catching something. And I'm just giving people the information from what I've learned. And these are places that I would go if I was in Texas. So we'll shoot north. So as I came north, we have the 943 right here. And this area to me on the 943 is, I believe, probably a Sasquatch highway. You've got some roads to the east and more, you know, people living to the west here. And if they really need to get into this canal, it's like a creek canal that they can kind of get halfway across the state. I think it's something like 20 miles that they can move through here, kind of unimpeded from one to the other. But right in here along this 943 highway, I would be spending some time. And I really don't know if I can get you a road name, but we're going to try. Looks like there's been some timbering done through here over the years. Let's take a look. Well, we do have something. It's called Lonesome Lane right here on the east side. So if you leave Lonesome Lane and you come down this road for the next, let's see, I would say from here to Lonesome Lane is 2.6 miles. It's not that far, but what I would do is find the best timber to timber tracks that they could cross, like right here. Got some depressions, looks like a creek where they might come up out of a ravine a little bit, depending on the land banks, cross from one side to the next. This blue area is a hub where they kind of come into, but then you would have to say, hey, are they going to just go this way? That's why I thought this area was kind of interesting. Or, you know, are they going to keep going to the east and come out over here? I don't know. It depends really which way they're going. If I'm keeping it simple, if I'm using the path of least resistance, I'm coming right here. This is where I'm going. I'm going to cross the road. Then I can make my decision once I'm hidden in here. I can go east. I can go west. I can do whatever I need to do. That's the smartest move in my book. I would think that they're probably smarter than I am even, based on the way they move and use terrain. But you can see the city hubs all the way around. And here's a tidbit for you. What's really crazy. And it's been happening in every state that I've done. Don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but everywhere I'm plotting out Sasquatch travel routes between large tracts of land and where I believe they're moving. There's churches nearby or cemeteries. We have a Lindsay Church up here, or Lindsay Cemetery. We've got the Hebron Church, but it's in a lot of regions where I would say, hey, you know, they're going to cross here and stuff like that. It's an awkward thing. I'm not sure why. Who knows why? But like right here, where they come into this large area, you've got an outreach church here. We're right near where I said they would go. And on the other side, they've got a Sunflower Baptist church. It's just really weird that some of the triangulated areas are near churches and cemeteries. Now, I have no idea why, but it's just odd. So if we come east, this is a region right here. I'm going to say near what? Village Mills and Holland's. Look at another one, Holland Cemetery right here. Now, when I do these lines, when I do their patterns and what I put all into this and everything that I use, this is where I'm following the line. Like I would follow this red line, doing what I'm doing, getting from point A to point B. I'm not looking for churches and cemeteries, but right here again, another cemetery. But right here, out of this region, Village Mills, there's another First Baptist Church right there. This region right here is a hot spot, 100%. Get in there, check it out, get some cameras up, stay for a year, do what you're doing. They would definitely have to come across here if they're trying to move across the state. That is one of the best hubs that I can find, crossing the 287 there. Now they can come south to these other regions, but like I said, if they're coming off the Big Thicket or whatever the situation is, and they're going to move east, this right here, if I was a Bigfoot researcher, or somebody that wanted to possibly see a Bigfoot or get some evidence, right there, these right here, that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to spend some time there, east and west, because these larger tracts of land, I mean, it's hard to find them. It's a needle in a haystack, and so what we do is we just try to connect the dots between one and another, and how they can travel. And then we got another place mark up here as they come out, and this highway is, let's see if we can get a highway. So we're right there, Frank's Church and Cemetery. Yeah, you got that right. So this is where I believe they're going to cross. It's called Frank's Branch. This is a really good east-west spot right here. Not really impeded, just outside of town. Probably night crossing area where they can come through. Down south of that, you've got a lot of broken timber. How come they don't cross down here near the precision machine shop? You know what I mean? I'm going based on the stuff that I've done, and what's the best unimpeded route for them to get to all of this over here, where they can move along this body of water, north-south, probably north-south here, and come up through this channel. And yeah, they could break off toward Beech Grove here, but to me, the next section of travel probably looked somewhere near, what is that, East Texas Construction Company off the 96. The 301 is right there. That's an area where I think they would cross timber to timber to get into this larger tract over here. And then I brought it south a little bit. You've got, oh my God, this is kind of getting ridiculous. Zion Hill Cemetery and Rock Hill Baptist Church. There was two locations that I really thought that, hey, they could move unimpeded right here, either across the highway or, find a bridge location, and they can use it as an underpass. Another spot along the 96, and 96 seems to be like a divide line, is a little outside of Jasper by the 239. There's the 250, the 249, just north of the Pavilion and the Pine. That's a tract of land that I really think that they would come probably through, because you've got the lake right here, what I was using as a breakpoint corridor. So you've got Jasper to the south here, and if they come through this region between the lake and Jasper, they've got to really move carefully. So I think they're going to head a little north of Jasper and kind of cross the 96 the best they can up through this region. That's why I put that place mark up there. Now we headed west a little bit to Highway 225, just off the 20, which is right here. Highway, 255. Sorry, 255. Where they would come by the Neches River and probably cross up to the next tract of land. And these are the two position points you can probably see by down here. You can get the coordinates. And I'm just showing you that these are locations that I would go to or I would check out and try to figure out what type of evidence is there, if any, or when I should spend time there. The next section as I'm running through here is up near Nancy, right off the 69. There's a small location here by the 374. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Johnson Missionary Baptist. Do you see what I mean? And this is not done purposely at all. I'm kind of at a loss for words right now because I just started noticing that in one of the other states, and as I'm doing this, I'm not here plotting out. And look at right here, the Johnson Cemetery, in the Kitchen Cemetery. This is uncanny. This is getting uncanny now. Because you could go back through my files in this series and actually look where these routes that I've laid out in the other states fall, and that seems to be consistent or congruent with what is happening here. So this was an area that I thought they may cross near the river, but it's not somewhere where I'd really want to spend time to look along the 59. For the Natchez River crosses the 59, but I would go just south of that in through the timber where it's not, as wet. From the Natchez River, I would say half mile, 3/4 of a mile south is what I was looking at for them crossing. And if you had to go north of the Natchez River on the 59, I'm going to say at least close to a mile. There's a little region here. I don't have any markers near White Oak Creek. If you look that up off the 59, that's where I would say another region they would cross probably. And their whole goal is they have to make it across the state. And people would ask me, well, why do they got to make it across the state? Could you live in one little area without going to the store, without talking to people, without doing things? You have to take this back to primitive, situations. We go to the store, we do whatever we need to do. We're a totally different society. But, you go back 300-400 years and see what it's like, or 10,000 years, whatever the situation may be. And if they're living primitive, let's say like a Neanderthal, then they're going to just do what's comfortable to them. But they can't stay in one location, whether it's mating, food, weather. There's 100 different variables probably. The chances of them having to move based on what we've seen, they do. And it's a constant thing. You're lucky if they hold up in an area for a week to 3 weeks. And then after that, it's kind of like they disappear. So we got this next setup, and look at right here. Mayo Church to the southwest. That's weird. So you follow the creek up through here. Just off of that, what is that, a half mile past the Mayo Church? I don't know if there's a road here. So the road we have would be Chinquapin Road, if you can see that. Just off into the timber there in the thickets. I would get back up in there and use this region from the creek to this field, and I would try to lay some cameras out through there and leave them through there and let them run for a year, because I'm telling you, you're going to start catching questionable stuff that's going to make you, if not believe, question. And when you start to question, you're going to go do more research in the area. And what's that going to lead to? That is just going to lead to, it's going to benefit everybody, the whole community, because you're going to start getting more evidence, finding more things, learning, and then it just grows from there. And if everybody starts doing this, we're better off. So we've got it where they break across the 94 by the Natchez River. We've got Jimmy's Bar, Linda's Drive-In. Just south of that, I'm gonna say they're gonna cross more south of that on this bend here. This is where I would go. This would be my first choice right here if I'm on the 94, south of those two businesses. They could cross near them, and that's why I put it there, because there's marshy river. They could go along the river. So there's 3 breakpoints right there within probably a half a mile that you could be doing some research before it gets into this big timber over here. Because once they get into this region, it's really hard to find them. So we came over here, crossing the 7. It seems kind of desolate down here, which is really good to me. It's Highway 7 near Hager Creek. The 1155 and Connor Road is near there. I would go just northeast to 562, and then you got a logging road right here, which could probably pay dividends if you could get back up in this region somewhere across this line. That's where I would look. I'd be set up through there. So, because they're going to stay off the 562 here to the right, they're going to hang west, but then you've got a pond break and you got a house here. So they're going to have to just kind of finagle through this region. And if you use this map and take a look, you're going to probably get lucky. Now, I don't want to toot my own horn, but we do have, good results with people finding, learning, seeing things, the whole 9 yards. And if I wasn't mistaken, I just seen another cemetery over here. That's really odd. I'm going to note that for future research, because it's just odd that, I don't know. I mean, I know there's cemeteries and churches everywhere, but it just happens to seem like they're falling all over these same regions. So as we come over here, we got the Piney Creek Church. So just south of that, the 2781 near the 551. This is a great corridor. This is where I would set up also, because as you come up the 2781, there's three locations over a vast distance. This one is just north of the T-Bar Horse Camp. This little near Lynch Creek. This region is probably phenomenal with crossings, and we don't even know it, because if you look, that's where the land tapers down. There's 3 spots between 2 large tracks that they would want to get to, and even farther north is the other ones. Let's go up here. Now when I say breaks, you see that there's a field there, and the same here. There's this here. You know what I mean? So that break point is where they can cross timber to timber, this side to this side. There's no fields, none of that. They're just unimpeded. That's what I mean by saying that. So this is by the 4610, just up the road. These are 3 breakpoints that I would definitely, the 2781 and the 4610, just above the 4610, and that tract of timber. I would go look for the best locations right in that quarter to half mile, and get a bunch of cameras out, because eventually, like I said, these regions are the regions that they have to move through. These are the pinch points to get from point A to point B. Let's look for some more. So as I moved east, here's another one, Rice Cemetery. It's kind of weird actually that all these things are popping up like that. It's right off of Rice Road, south of Rice Road, and then this is the 527. I'm trying to see, right off the 527. So right along Rice Cemetery, that's where I believe they would, come out and cross just northwest of the 527 and Rice Road. So I would set something up maybe near this pond here, right along the road as they come. A lot of people don't understand that you can find terrain breaks and trails and everything else 100 yards off the road. And when you find these little locations that are tight niche like this, and you get 5 or 6 cameras in there, sometimes they don't have a choice, and you're gonna catch them. That's how we captured photos. And people asked us how. Well, now I'm teaching you how. It's in the books. It's plastered everywhere. But I'm actually teaching you to get out there and using my strategy. And hey, go here, and let me know. So that covers a bunch of locations down near the Big Thicket. As you can see, I leave them all plotted. I come up with my solutions. I come up with my place marks, where they can move, and the best regions that I think they're going to move. So let's head north. So we're almost near Oklahoma, kind of right on the border there. We found a little niche area that I talked about before. I think this pays dividends. That's the Pat Mays State Wildlife Management Area, and you're right on the Texas border. But like I said, I was really trying to focus on Texas. You can also go, like I said, up into these other states and over to Louisiana, and our whole goal is to connect these all together. So if you're in the Big Thicket, if you're down there in Texas and you're coming on board and you want to find some good locations, just let me know. Go to my place marks, do some of your own due diligence, 10 of them might not be good, 5 of them might be. And then you're going to say, hey, this is something. And I'm doing this from New York. And I'm going to map the whole United States, and I'm going to try to come up with travel routes and corridors that connect state to state, region to region, the best that I can using what we've learned, not just some willy-nilly system. And then hopefully people will take this, go further with it, and then just keep, hopefully it snowballs where people can understand and we can all learn from it. So again, guys, I'm out of here. That's Texas. We're on to the next. Please like, sub, share. We take this seriously. It's not just a joke. I wouldn't be putting the time in to help show you where these areas are. I'm actually putting points on the map, and I say that 100,000 times. Go to these regions. Later, guys.